order at 7 p.m. Yes. Up first, we have public comments and recognition of guests. No one submitted a form for public comments, so we'll go on to presentations. Up first, we have Kidwin with Colin Skurlock. Come on up.
Thank you guys so much for having us. So we are the My Science of Energy class, and we are going to be talking about the Kidwin competition that we're going to be competing in May. So we are super, super excited that you had us here, and we are going to be able to talk about this awesome opportunity that our students are going on. There you go. So the team, most of the members are here in front of you, over here. So we have our two team captains, Ellie and Carson. If you want to raise your hand. Yep. And then other members include Silas Patrick, Sadie Manuel, Taylor Larson, Apollo Ganway, and Alyssa Edwards. So if you guys want to also raise your hand. Thank you. So essentially, what is Kidwin? What is this whole big thing? We've heard this before. So Kidwin's primary goal is to help students find their place in a clean power future. Whatever your opinions are on clean power. That's the future, right? So we're moving into that, and Kidwin's goal is to kind of help our students and the next generation adapt to this ever-changing climate, right? So they seek to address these very unique challenges by working with educators such as myself and our students to kind of address these challenges and prepare them for what's to come. So our process in preparing for Kidwin, we spent about 2 months working.
He sounds pretty loud.
Gotcha. Testing. There it is. Okay. So we spent about 2 months working through this process in my class, my Science of Energy class. The first month, students, I taught them primarily about weather, wind turbine energy, everything ins and outs when it came to wind power. Through a variety of labs, demos, videos, etc. The second month was really the diving into the building of our turbine. So students completed their engineering notebook and kind of worked along with each other to build our turbines. And if you were wanting to see that, I can present that later. But they built functioning models of turbines. The regionals, so the local competition was held at Heartland Community College at the Challenger Learning Center. Students were tasked at this competition to test the turbine in a wind tunnel, interviewed by the judges, and defending their choices through a variety of team building activities and just general knowledge questions. Unfortunately for us, the one day of the competition was our snow day e-learning day, which was very unfortunate, but we pivot. We are able to submit it virtually. So during that process, the students once we got back to school, we took videos, we filmed, the turbine working, and of course we had to scan and upload our engineering notebooks, which we spent, weeks perfecting and making sure it showed the step-by-step procedure of the design process. And then all that hard work paid off. We actually won regionals. So one of the two teams that we broke into won the regionals, the Renewable Renegades, which is consisting of Carson, Alyssa, Jackson, Apollo, and Talon. Those 5 were able to allow the entire class, both teams, to come together as one unified team with one unified turbine and go to Phoenix, which is what we are, doing now. In Phoenix, we are going to be competing in what is known as the Worlds competition. Each year, the top performing students from both In-person competitions and virtual ones are allowed to come. It changes every year where it's located. So this year we just happened to be going to Phoenix. I think last year was Minneapolis. So, the goal of this program is to continue to do things like this. And, who knows where in the United States I'll be taking students, hopefully, in the future. And then, so we're going to be traveling to Worlds. We're going to be completing with our turbine that we have built. We are going to be doing more of those instant challenges and doing our quiz bowl to show off our knowledge of what we've been learning. Other things to expect, so they're going to talk with experts in the field. Again, they're going to do those instant hands-on challenges that really test their collaborative abilities and their teamwork skills. And of course, again, test their knowledge with that quiz bowl thing. Really show, hopefully that they were paying attention in class and remember everything I taught them. And of course, test their turbine. They'll be testing it in 4 different wind tunnels: a slow speed, a medium speed, a fast speed, and one where the turbine has to yaw or turn to face the wind. We are having to work on our turbine now currently to make it fit those schematics. So it's, this whole process is still ongoing. And I will actually let my 2 captains talk about this last slide if they would like to come over here.
Hello, I am Ellie Schleifer. I am one of the captains, and I would like to thank our donors, especially Apex Clean Energy. They helped make this possible for us and gave us a large amount of our funding. I would also just like to say that this is a great program, and Colin Scurlock is such a great teacher.
Totally didn't, pay them to say that.
Okay, so I'm here to thank especially Dr. Sanford and Miss Trimble, if she's anywhere in here. Oh, there she is. So Miss Trimble and Dr. Sanford were definitely the ones who pushed this to be possible. Not only did they work with us a lot, but bringing this to the school board. I know Miss Trimble worked a lot with Apex, and Apex originally gave us a still generous donation, but they ended up giving us more because we needed more financial help. So I would thank you guys very, very much. This would not be possible without you. And I just want to say, mine is going to be a little longer than 2 sentences, but going into regionals, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how many people we were going to be competing against. So essentially, when Mr. Scurlock made us watch the video of the awards, I requested to turn off the lights, and he said no. And then once we saw our team name, obviously, I was very excited, very surprised, because this was our first year going to a competition like this, and we had to turn everything from being ready to prepare and show everything in person to online. So that was definitely different than what we were already preparing for months. Science of Energy has been a very great class, and yeah, this is a great opportunity. Me as a senior, this is a great way to go out of the year. I've definitely learned a lot, and especially since there's a huge windmill company on 150 between Mansfield and Farmer City. I think this is a great local learning option or opportunity. And for the juniors, I think this is something great. Maybe they can help the students next year prepare for this, because it was a lot of work, to say the least, but it was very fun, and I cannot wait to go to Phoenix. Also, another thing, a lot of students in the class have never been on a plane before, and so I think that their first time going onto a plane is with Mr. Scurlock, and I think that's so cute.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I don't know how I could follow that up. But no, in general, again, I am so, I've said this a bazillion times, but I am so grateful for this opportunity. These kids are really something special, and I am so, so grateful that I get to take these kids to this opportunity, this kind of thing. All these people on this board, really, we would not be able to do this without every single one of them. So I'm just, forever grateful that we get to do this. And I'm really, really hopeful and excited to continue doing this with kids in the future. So thank you guys so much for your time.
He's like, bless. You're funny. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Skurlock, and your class. Up next, we have the Mansfield United Methodist Church grant presentation, and I think Pastor Nick Gleason is here with his team.
Good evening. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Nicholas Gleason. I'm the pastor of the Mansfield United Methodist Church. I'm here with Debbie Hugel and Sue Gibson, two of our mission leaders in the church. I'd like to just start by saying thank you so much for allowing us to have a moment to come. I know you have a busy evening with a lot of special people to honor and a lot of special achievements to recognize. But we're very grateful for this opportunity to share a little bit of the partnership that we got to have with your schools. Every year during the springtime, our church seeks to do something in the community that will benefit our neighbors. And this year, we thought about our teachers at the Blue Ridge Intermediate and Junior High School. We know that every teacher has that meaningful project, that special project that they want to do with their students. And we wanted to make those remarkable moments possible. So we invited all the teachers at the intermediate and junior high school to share a little bit about a project that they were wanting to do and how much they would like to receive for that project. And we were hoping to raise about $1,000. But I have to tell you, and this is credit to the school district and to your amazing teachers, the projects that they sent in were so inspiring. The way that they saw the uniqueness of each student that they cared for. The way that they really tried to find creative methods of teaching and helping the students dig into their subjects. The way that they really wanted to encourage their students to be a part of this and to learn and to grow and to become passionate about these subjects. It inspired us. It inspired us so much that we went above our goal and ended up raising $1,551 to support the teachers in 10 different classrooms here at the Blue Ridge Intermediate and Junior High School. And at this time, I'd like to invite Debbie up to read the names of the teachers and Sue to pass the cards out. And we invite the teachers to come forth and receive their card as their name is called.
Anita Beeman.
She may not be here.
Okay. April Griffin. Okay.
Stay.
Jenny Jameson.
Mr. Payton loves to take pictures.
Nicole Plowick. Kristen Reynolds. Molly Schneeman. Casey Sedberry. Kelly Soliday. Andrea Weedman. And Carissa Yeagle.
Good job. You guys are good at getting ready. I appreciate that. Go ahead. All right. Ready?
Okay, up next we have exemplary nights. First, we have our exemplary staff members. For our exemplary night staff members, you have been recognized by your peers for your exemplary work. As a Board of Education, we want to thank you for your efforts and the positive impact you leave on Blue Ridge. Up first, from Schneider Elementary, we have the Schneider Literacy Committee. Melissa Ward, Carrie Brackenhoff, Aaron Stahl, Brianna Early, Kristen Wilkinson, Megan Maxwell, and Melissa Schwarzlows. I think that's it. Nice. For Blue Ridge Intermediate Junior High, we have Zach Paraguay. Did I say that right? Okay. And for Blue Ridge High School, we have Sarah Ringel. Zach, you forgot your jean jacket. They're so funny. Okay. Up next, we have our exemplary night students. Tonight, we want to recognize the exemplary actions that brought you to the attention of your teachers and principal. As a Board of Education, we appreciate your efforts and excellence. We want to say thank you for a job well done. From the high school, we have Wes Clark, also from the high school, we have Drake Hardesty. For 8th grade, Kale Weedman. Seventh grade, Braxton Soliday. Sixth grade, Steele Bateman. Here comes Lexi. 5th grade, Lexi Popejoy. 4th grade, Grayson Bentley. 3rd grade, we have Pearl Paulin. We also have Amira Dukes. I think she's here. 2nd grade, Camden Mackey. First grade, Wrigley Shaw. And kindergarten, Liza Wable. I don't know if that's Weibel. Okay. Up next, we have communication. First is the IASB liaison talking points. That was shared in the board packet. Next up is committee reports. I think we just keep going. Any committee reports? Right.
Yeah. No committee reports this month.
Okay, administrative reports, Dr. Sanifer.
I just wanted to make a quick note, our secure entry projects, we're making progress on those. The most notable differences will be here in the high school building, both for the high school entrance and for the unit office entrance. We do have kiosks that are up and ready to go, and different procedures for those who let kids and adults in and out. When we are all ready to run those for good, then we'll make sure that we're probably going to do a little video, make sure that everybody can see how they're supposed to be entering and what they do on the kiosk, and we'll try to send that out as soon as we're ready to go. But we are getting very close on that, which I'm thankful for. If you don't mind, I'll go to the quarterly financial report and give you that information there. You have that in front of you on paper. So one of the things that we like to do is kind of talk through the different columns that we have there. I do have audited fund balance numbers for you in column D. That's in greenish blue color near the left-hand side. Those came from the auditor this morning. We believe those are the final numbers for our fund balances starting in July 1st of 2024. You have seen in the past quarters, column E and column H in the greenish blue. Those are our proposed revenues and expenditures. That's what the budget was made from. And then what we do each 3 months. It's a little bit more than mine.
It's just in and out, in and out.
Okay, let's give this one a try. So we have our actual revenues. Those are in column F. You can see those in yellow. We are still working to make sure that our reports in the new system are running accurately. Those numbers just came in to me today. If you're looking at column G, the percentage of the revenues that are received to date, you want to see at least 75% in that column. You can see that all but one would be at that 75% mark, so we're doing well with receiving tax dollars and other grant monies. And then you can see in column I, which is also in yellow, are actual expenditures. That's what I'm most excited to share with you. If you look over to column J, we are 75% through the fiscal year. If you look up on the top in column J, we're showing right at 75% or a little bit less, which is good to be less when you're talking about expenditures. If you look down at the bottom, column J with line bond and interest fund 30, that's way over the 100%. That was an error that was made on the budget form for that fund. We have the funds to cover that, but we had an error in the entry on that form. That's why that percentage is so high. But everything else down there is looking at 75% or below. Some of those funds down there, 50 is most related to the calendar. When you're 3/4 of the way through the school year, you should be about 75% of your expenditures. So we're a little bit below the estimate right there, which is good. Site and construction, that's where our projects for concession and the track are coming from. And you can see that we're very low right now. Those will be increasing as we get to the spring months. And then we have...
It's a them issue.
Talk into doesn't work, sorry. 75% is our expenditure in Fund 80, which is tort. Most of those bills are paid at the beginning of the year, so we're doing fine there. And then health, life, safety, again, that's just project dependent. We haven't had a lot of large things that have come in yet this year, so we're still at 68%. Overall, we're doing well, and our hope was tonight you would have the AFR, the annual financial report from FY24 here, but that changed this morning at 6 o'clock. The auditor said that he wouldn't be able to have that done yet. So I might be asking you again if we can have another date that we can get together and have that approved as soon as possible when he's ready. Any questions for me?
No. Okay, Mr. Payton? Nothing's working tonight.
Check, check. Here, use mine. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. We had an awesome BR Connect tonight, by the way. That was really fun. All of our STEM group did wonderful. They also help out with our STEM club that they did a few weeks ago, where they come over and they work with our, I think 3 through 6 graders, and just did some really fun STEM activities in our library, in our cafeteria. So Mr. Skurlock does a really good job with those kiddos. So just a couple of things to touch base on. We had an awesome second and third grade spring concert. We've had tons of just evening events and activities over the last month. Our second and third graders did a wonderful job just singing, dancing, doing all sorts of fun stuff, reciting lines. So thanks to Mrs. Weiler, and then also to all of our staff at Snyder that help just get that evening ready and make it a wonderful night. So I appreciate them. Mrs. Diener, our interim assistant principal, she has been busy around our building for a variety of reasons, but one of the things she's done is bringing her love for reading into all the classrooms. So she's been going to all of the classrooms throughout the year reading to our students, and it's just a great way for her to connect and also instill the love for text and literature. So that's been something that she's really enjoyed doing, and the kids are really enjoying that time also. We had our Bug Awards, I believe it was last week. These weeks are running together, but we recognized our first, second, and third graders. The Bug Awards is a group award ceremony that we do with our Kiwanis Club, recognizing students who have either improved their scores from one quarter to the next, or B, have either just really had a high level grades throughout the school year. So we recognize over 75 students at the assembly, which is really awesome to see that we have students achieving and doing very well. Last but not least, our open house and book fair. That was also last week. Another great event, great way for students and a great way for families to come in and just kind of see all the hard work that students are doing. Classrooms were filled with student work, hallways were filled with student work. Good way for parents and to get to connect with families. Miss McMurray was there, so she got to meet lots of families as they came through the building, and so it's been wonderful to kind of start that transition process. A couple of other things. Number one, we're excited to announce we have a new staff member that'll be joining us next year. Mr. Colin Norsworthy. Yeah. He is a general music ed major at ISU, and he will be graduating here very soon. We're excited to have him on board helping with kind of that vertical music position across both buildings. So we're looking forward to that, absolutely. Also, I just wanted to kind of share a quick strategic plan update. There was a little bit of information in there, but we have been working on that document. There's a lot there to kind of go through and figure out as we move forward. It's a big document because it's something that's going to drive what we do hopefully for the next 5 years. We want to make sure it does just that. So we've got 4 main goals really complete. We're still working on 1 goal. We will meet next week to talk about that. We're utilizing our admin council meetings mostly for those. So we will meet next week, kind of go over that goal 2, which is our 5th goal. And then after that, just kind of going back and just finalizing and making sure that we have all the pieces that we need and make sure the language is very clear, make sure we have the data sources we need. And then the goal will be to bring that copy back here, at least a kind of a proposed draft for the May meeting to get some ideas from you and some feedback from the board. And then, once we get that feedback, then come back and do some tweaking, revisions, additions, whatever we think we need to do, and then hopefully be ready to share that in June. So that's kind of the overall goal at this point. Okay, any questions for me?
No.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead.
Good evening. Wow, this is new. All right, just a few things to share with you guys that's been going on the last month. We've been kind of wrapping up our assessment season. Last week, our 8th graders took our science test. It's part of our battery of assessments we take for the state, and this week our 5th graders have been working on their version of the science assessment. Starting May 5th, our window opens for our spring iReady assessment, so that's where our kids took the assessment in the fall, and they set a growth goal for them. In both math and reading. There was a midpoint check in the winter, right before we left for Christmas break, and then the spring will say whether or not that they hit that growth goal that was set in the fall. So teachers have been working hard, talking with kids about how we set goals and how we achieve our goals, and so it's a big benchmark for us, and so we're excited about that opportunity. There was a lot to be said about the Mansfield United Methodist Church Lenten Project, but I wanted to just let you guys know, I don't think he mentioned it. Originally, that was set up for 5 teachers, and they were able to actually do 10. So they doubled what they were going to do. So that was pretty awesome. My last plug for our spring play. So Mission Possible is the name of it. It's kind of a spy thriller. It's going to be April 25th and 26th, both at 7 o'clock, and then there'll be a Sunday matinee at 2 p.m. on the 27th. $5 for kids, or for adults, $3 for students, and children on 5 and younger are free. And I was just informed before I turned in my board report that root beer floats are coming back for one of the special treats at the concessions for the intermission. So something exciting there. And last but not least, I wanted to make sure to recognize the boosters that work with our schools. And so a lot of our field trips are taking place during the spring. And they go ahead and through their fundraising through the year, they help cover some of the cost for our kiddos to be able to go on a lot of those field trips, and don't know if we'd be able to do as much as we could without them. So I wanted to make sure special thanks to our boosters. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, good evening. Hello again. Let's see, so the past few weeks at the high school, we got back from spring break and we immediately started worrying about ACT testing day, so that went off last week really, really well. And it was a terrifying day because we've been doing SAT for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden the state said, oh, guess what, we're going to switch back to ACT. And it's all digital now. It's all on a computer. It's not filling in bubble sheets. The kids had to do it all digitally. So teachers had never been trained in any of that. The kids had never done anything like that. And Jim Kirkton just did a fantastic job in setting everything up and communicating everything that needed to be said to the staff. And man, that day we had, so the freshmen and sophomores were doing the pre-ACT test assessment. So it's not official, it's like a practice thing for them. And all the freshmen were here and all the sophomores were here except for 2, and they had totally legitimate reasons that couldn't be avoided. And every single junior for the ACT showed up on testing day, and everybody was here early, and they were prepared with charged Chromebooks. It was insane. We need to make ACT testing every day. That'd be fun. Anyway, just the staff did great, the kids did great, and we'll actually get results here, I think, next week. Because it's all digital, the scores are released pretty quickly. So. Anyway, yeah, really, really super job. I also want to give a shout out to Mr. Kirkton because just something I've noticed from him this year as a first-year administrator, he just jumped right in and is tackling problems. Like he'll see something that needs to be addressed. We talk about kids on a DF list, and so and also working with Ms. Hieronymus, who you remember last year came to you guys and talked about some concerns that she had of things that were on her plate that she felt didn't necessarily need to be on her plate, and he has taken some of those, like running testing day and talking to kids who are on the DF list on a consistent basis. And this past week, our DF list was the smallest it had been all year. We were quite excited to see the smallest number of kids on that, and just because of staying on them and talking about setting goals and what can you do to improve these grades. So really want to just commend him. He's doing a fantastic job. Big upcoming things as the school year winds down at the high school. I'm thinking, right at the end of next week is our FFA banquet, and I know a lot of you will be at that. That's going to be it's going to be a doozy. We've got, I think, 5 seniors that have really been well invested in the program for a long time. It's going to be a rough one to see those people go. We've got the week after that. We get to the next weekend and it's prom. And we go the week after that, and it's honors night, where we recognize a lot of kids for their outstanding achievements in the classroom. And then the week after that is graduation. So boom, 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 and we are there. So, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. I think in addition to my board report, I just wanted to add, I'm going to date myself for a minute. We have been looking for a new art curriculum for the last 3 or 4 years. We've been looking at different options. What we're currently using, I was part of a team with probably 5 other teachers that we received a grant. I want to say it was 25 years ago to create this art curriculum that we're currently using, which it has been great. But we think it's probably time to do a little bit of updating. And so Molly Schneeman and I have been meeting with different companies over the last couple of years, but we found one today. We didn't find it today, but we met with them today that I'm really hopeful might be a good fit. So we're going to kind of dig into their website over the next 2 weeks, and then hopefully come to you in May with a proposal. So maybe we can update what we're currently using. Like I said, it's been great, but it's just, all good things must come to an end. And then in other big news, we are finally coming to you after 1.5 years with a proposal for our ELA adoption, which would be for K through 8. I don't know if you want me to talk about this now or if you want to, okay. So how about we just start with, I gave you a pretty in-depth report of kind of the process that we went through, and what our recommendation is. Do you have any specific questions that I can answer in regards to content, the financial side of it, anything at all? Sig, I see you moving your mic. You're up.
Well, is this working?
Yep. Well,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, it's yellow, but
Okay.
way, hopefully somebody can hear me.
I can hear you.
I just wanted to see if, basically the same questions that I sent Hillary and had her send to you.
Yeah.
Because I got the answers to the other ones, but then I didn't get it
Okay,
back to my email today.
So I came prepared. So let's go ahead and start with, I think your first question was just how what we currently are using differs from what we're recommending that we move to. So we're currently using Fontes and Pinnell for reading, but then we also have Lucy Calkins for writing, and then we have another program called Patterns of Power for grammar, and then we have Handwriting Without Tears for the handwriting portion. For phonics, we're using Haggerty and UFly. So all of those things I just named, you can imagine how they're not cohesive. They all are okay as standalones, but we really are looking for a cohesive curriculum where all the different pieces connect. When we met together at our literacy team last January, we set up some non-negotiables that we were looking for in a curriculum. We used the Reading League's rubric, and we noticed that there were some things missing or were weak that we wanted to see improved. And so we really wanted a curriculum that had a spelling component, a grammar component, vocabulary, comprehensive practice, as well as assessments, intervention materials, a clear scope and sequence, quality leveled readers. We wanted the writing component to be in the text where they're writing about what they're reading about. We wanted it to be evidence-based. We wanted to see a balance of the science of reading with whole language. And we wanted it to be easy to implement. And we're like, wow, we don't even know if that exists. But after going through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we reviewed 7 different curriculums: SAVIS, CKLA, Curriculum Associates, HMH, Open Court, McGraw-Hill, Wit and Wisdom. And it came down to, then we narrowed it down to our top 2, which was SAVIS and CKLA. And I was nervous for the meeting where we were going to have a discussion. I thought it was going to be a hard discussion because we have a lot of, knowledgeable people on that committee. And I was thinking, oh, what are we going to do if we're divided? But we came in, K through 5 was almost 100% saying that we needed to go with CKLA, which I thought, was an astounding majority. I was not expecting that. And then our 6 through 8, it wasn't it was not unanimous, but it was a strong majority. And once we kind of had a discussion, we were all comfortable with moving forward, which I think will be great to have K through 8 for vertical alignment. We currently do not have that with what we have right now. Like I said, it's patchy at best. It's not cohesive, and this curriculum is going to bring all those different things together. Another portion you had asked about was financial. So we pulled together some numbers. If we go ahead and decide that we would like the intervention components of the new curriculum, and we're not there yet. We're still meeting with, now that we know which curriculum we want to go to, now it's important to bring our practitioners that teach special ed and Title I. They need to have a voice at that table, and they need to learn, what is available to them before we make a decision if they want to go with that intervention or not. There's 3 to 4 different ones we're looking at. If we go forward with that intervention piece, I believe that the total was around, hold on, 180. Does that sound right? Yeah, around 180,000, which sounds like a lot of money because it is a lot of money. However, we also pulled numbers of what we had spent on our F&P curriculum. I had Dr. Stanifer pull those numbers of what we had spent just on F&P, but then it's important to realize that we also had to purchase Patterns of Power and Lucy Calkins, Handwriting Without Tears every year. Just for F&P materials, we spent around $145,000. Patterns of Power was approximately $6,400. Lucy Calkins was almost $10,000, and then additional $5,000 per year for Handwriting Without Tears. So you can see that they're pretty similar in cost. Does that answer kind of what you were thinking? Okay. Yeah. Well, and what's nice about the quote we have is a 5-year quote, and so they will send us those materials for 5 years. So we won't have to purchase handwriting books every year. We won't have to purchase, all these different components, which will be really, I think, nice. Other questions? No? Administrators, did you have anything about curriculum that you wanted to add that I didn't cover as far as Amplify? That was, and I would say that was another selling point for us as, we get more and more mandates that we have to teach in our classroom. Sadly, it seems like we're losing some of that science and social studies time. So with this curriculum, it has a lot of science and social studies foundations built into that. So that way, we can maybe just be more cohesive about offering an equitable division between all of our subjects and not just taking away from science and social studies. Yep. Yeah. And as you know, we've been working with 6th through 12th grade alignment for ELA over the last 3 years. And it's like, we've done all that work. Are we just going to get rid of it? The answer is no. So for 6th through 8th grade, the new Amplify pathway is 100 days. So that gives us over 75-ish days around there where we can take those maps that we've created and we can align those in. So that way the teachers are still getting some of their autonomy of the units that they have taught as well, that they feel are important. We can kind of embed those in.
In the packet, you said that there's going to have to be some retraining for everybody to get used to the new system.
Yes, absolutely.
How many days are you anticipating for that over the summer?
So what I'm working on right now, I talked to the rep today. We're hoping when they come in, they will fly people in. They'll fly 3 people in. There will be a K through 2 training, 3rd through 5th, and then 6th through 8th grade. It'll be a full day training. So I'm hoping to offer that the beginning of June for teachers who can come. In a perfect world, it'd be great if everyone could come, but that's probably not realistic. So then, at the end of July, we'll have an additional training. They probably won't fly people in, but they will provide the same content, and it'll be interactive with those staff members, hopefully the end of July. And then Mr. Payton and I have talked about using some of our title funds next year to provide other professional development opportunities on Teacher Institute days, school improvement days. We really want that focus to be on literacy. There are probably other curriculum areas that we could look at updating, but next year we're going to put that on hold because we really want to invest the time for especially our K through 5, K through 6 teachers that teach like English and math or English and science. We don't want to throw one more thing at them. We want to really focus on getting them the training that they're going to need for this first year for sure.
What's the support structure like after you have the initial trainings on the
So
software and
so
what
we
have you?
have the initial trainings, and then they offer packages. So it depends if we want them to come in person, if they want to do online. They have pre-recorded webinars. So there's lots of different options. A lot of times we use our title funds to provide coaching and different support opportunities. So I see us still doing that, but doing it to with Amplify for ELA. Yeah, so in the packet you saw that we went and visited different schools because that was one of the things that the committee really wanted to see practitioners practicing using those curriculums, being able to talk to them. And so Sunny McMurray, who's going to be our new Snyder principal, that was one of the schools we went to. And so she is familiar with it, which will be a great resource to Snyder and really all of our teachers. She's used it, she's experienced with it, so I think that it'll be great. I think she'll probably be able to provide some professional development for us as well. We also have 3 or 4 teachers who have come to us from Champaign who have also used it, so they're familiar with it. They'll be able to help their grade level teams, and so I think that'll be really exciting, letting them kind of take a lead on that and help support their peers. Other questions?
Like Champaign and Sunny, they like the program when they'd used it in the past? They're a
Yes.
fan?
Yeah, yeah.
Just figured I'd ask. You know,
Yeah.
Nobody explicitly said it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Jenny
Okay.
says it's some of the best she's ever used. She's one of our teachers that used it in Champaign. And I will say, you know, we went to 3 different schools, and one of the schools we went to, I won't mention, but, you know, they were using a program, and not this one, but they hated it, and they felt very freely to talk about that. So I feel like we heard the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, other questions? Yes.
The kids do well with it too?
Yeah.
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 Fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited. Well, we will be excited if you approve it. If not, we might. I don't know.
She's like, are we excited?
Okay. Anything else? Sig, anything else? Okay.
Okay. The rest of the reports are in your board packet. Up next, we have approval of consent items. I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items listed on attachment A as presented. Derek? Jonathan? Yes. Next, if I can turn the page, we have old business. Why do I feel like, hold on a minute. Okay, there it is. Old business, approval of intergovernmental agreement for school year 25-26 and 26-27 co-op between Blue Ridge and D-Lane Weldon.
Okay, so we do a lot of work with D-Lane Weldon. They have been co-oping with us for many different activities in the past. We have a very good working agreement with each other. We didn't have anything on paper, and so the D-Lane superintendent offered to draw up an intergovernmental agreement that would just say, kind of basically document what we're already doing with each other between the two districts. So that's what you see in front of you, again, for these 2 school years that Francie just mentioned. At the end of this agreement, which is meant to be kind of a blanket allowance for us to continue to increase the number of things that we do together, should we see that to be beneficial for both school districts. At the end of the intergovernmental agreement, you'll see what we currently are co-oping with them, and there is one new item listed, and that would be wrestling. So wrestling is something that D-Land has already started the purchase of the mats and all the other equipment that will be needed for wrestling, and they would like to host that for us. They are very appreciative of the generosity that Blue Ridge has shown them over the last years. We've not charged them to do different things here, and so they wanted to take on that cost and invite our kids to come. So that's something that's being added in there. But again, this IGA approving, if you do approve that, it basically gives us permission to continue to look at other ways that we can benefit each other.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve the intergovernmental agreement between D-Lane Weldon and Blue Ridge CUSD number 18, effective beginning the 2025-2026 school year as presented. So moved. Kenna and Sig. Yes. Up next is consideration of district art teacher position to 1.0 FTE.
Okay, so we see that we have Colin here tonight. We have music and art that are related to each other in the fact that we have previously had a music teacher that would go from K through 8, an art teacher that would go from K through 8. That's been a number of years ago. When there were retirements involved, we had one teacher that was over in Mansfield doing both art and music. To get somebody who's certified in both art and music is a very difficult thing. We've referred to it as a unicorn. We've not been able to find somebody who's certified in both. I don't like to have teachers transporting, traveling between buildings during the day because it's not the most efficient thing. But when you're looking for somebody who is certified in that area, and with our size of a district, it requires the travel in between. So what we're asking you right now is to take the position that Molly Schneeman is filling as our art teacher, and she has been at about a 0.8 FTE or full-time equivalent. We would like to move her up to full-time, and that means Molly's going to be teaching here behind me at Snyder from K through 3. She's also going to be teaching 4th through 8th over in Mansfield. And we've already seen some remarkable work and results from Molly's work with them, with the art degree that she had. And remember, she added on the teaching certification. And so this position is going up to 1.0 is going to allow her to work vertically in the district.
Any questions? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve the increase from 0.8 FTE to 1.0 FTE for the art teaching position for Blue Ridge CUSD number 18 as presented. Derek, Jason. Yes. Up next is consideration of new K-8 ELA curriculum.
Okay, so you've just heard the comments from Paige. You've had a chance to ask questions. We wanted to just give you an option for what we could possibly do with funding that. So our thought right now is that we have $54,000 of grant funding. What Paige was anticipating making this purchase this year. So she had set those funds aside. So one option would, let's see, we have, I don't know that I explained that too well right there. So one option would be, let's see, the FY25, the grant funds plus district funds, and the other option would be FY26, spending another $25,000 and possibly the additional 47,000 of district funds if we decided to do the intervention. So that's the option that's in front of you. That whole thing is option B. So the 54,000 in grant funds, find another 54,000 in district funds right now, and then in Mr. Payton's first budget, he would include at least 25,000, if not another 47,000, if we decide to go with the interventions at that price.
Can I just add with that the reason why we need to add some of our district funds with the grant funds for this year is because if we don't, it's considered supplanting, and the grant will not let us do that. We can't just use all grant funds, we have to put some district funds towards that as well.
I have a question that everybody probably knows the answer to. So right now we're spending about 166,000 a year on, or for the, I mean, how does that work? Weren't we spending about 166 on all the different programs that we were using? And then why is it?
That was a purchase over time
Oh,
for
okay.
to have all those materials. This is a little bit different. This is going to have a digital component and also a tangible component as well. So things are a little bit different now when you're making the purchases versus, at least 5, 6, 7 years ago when that was not an option before.
There were some of those recurring costs, like the handwriting without tears, that were around $5,000. That was a recurring, but all those other components were one-time purchases.
Gotcha.
But they were missing a lot of like the hands-on assessments, different things that we need that come with this new curriculum.
I got you. And the old curriculum, is it outdated, or I guess
I
just
will say there's a shift of moving away from it. I've reached out to the ROE to see if they're aware of any schools who are still using that might be interested in purchasing some of our materials from us. But I will say the majority of schools are shifting away from it.
okay. So just total new expense, basically, not in the budget.
If you've heard of the reading wars, there's been a lot of discussion over the last years about how to teach children how to read, and so that's what Paige has spent a year and a half working on. It was the state that came out with a literacy plan, and so now all districts are charged with doing the work that she started right away by looking at that literacy plan. What are they requiring? What are they recommending based on research would be the best way for kids to learn? And did our curriculum match that? We didn't have enough matches that we felt comfortable leaving it as is. And so we wanted to make sure that we're moving forward with what now we understand is the best way to teach reading. And by the way, math is coming next. So,
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
One more question. So are we just doing for FY25? Or was this FY26 also?
so option B right there in front of you has a purchase that we would pay for part of that, just over $100,000, half grant, half district funds out of the current budget. The other part, FY26, you would also be approving now, but that's not going to be paid out until
FY26?
For $182,000 or whatever it was, that's 5 years.
Yes.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not 182 times 5.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear.
And it will touch every child K through 8, okay, for
Yeah.
5 years. And all the consumables that are required for this, they hold until the next school year. That's a
Great.
big deal when you're talking storage too.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to approve the adoption of Amplify CKLA materials for K-8 instruction of English language arts using payment option B for Blue Ridge CUSD 18 as presented.
So move.
Okay. Kenna and Jonathan. Yes. New business. Up first is review for approval of 2023-2024 annual audit and share report and fiscal efficiency schedule.
Before I address that, I just want, it wouldn't be right if I didn't stop to say thank you to Paige again. We wouldn't be doing this adoption with ELA curriculum if it wasn't for Paige. I mean, has somebody taken the time for a year and a half to coordinate all the people from different buildings coming together and looking at the materials? She's done a fantastic job. It absolutely would not happen without her help. So thank you, Paige. Yeah. Review for approval of the annual audit and shared report fiscal efficiency schedule is not ready for tonight. Mr. Kent Cool let me know at 6 o'clock this morning that he wouldn't be ready, and hopefully that will be in the next week or so. So we'll move on.
We all did appreciate that early morning text.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was like, well, it must be an emergency. Oh, nope.
Just me. He also emailed me at 1:24 in the morning.
Okay, so next is approval of sequence of honorable dismissal list for 2024-2025.
Okay, so this is basically a list that's put together from our Evaluwise program where our principals do their digital evaluations of the teachers on a schedule. And this honorable dismissal list, if we were in the business of a reduction in force, this is the list that we would go to. So it classifies everybody by evaluation and by what they're certified to teach. And so that list is required to be sent to the union by April 15th, which it was. And then it's here tonight for your approval.
Okay. Any questions, comments? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve the sequence of honorable dismissal list for the 2024-2025 school year as presented. Sig and Derek. Yes. Up next is consideration of AD job description and performance evaluation with rubric coach evaluation.
Okay, so we've been talking for a couple months. At least the high school and the junior high have been talking for a couple months with their ADs. We had realized that we were missing a evaluation instrument for athletic position, so we wanted to work on that. And so, first thing that they did was looked at the job description. That's usually Bushu Human Resources that would take a job description and turn that into an evaluation instrument. So there was some very mild tweaking, I would say, to the AD job description. By the way, we used to have 2 AD job descriptions. They were exactly the same, except for one went for IESA and the other one went for IHSA. So instead we made them one and just used both of those sets of initials in there. So we have a job description that the ADs have agreed to, and then Bushu, like I said, made the evaluation instrument from that. One of the ADs did request to put a little bit more, I would say, quantify that a little bit more. So Mr. Easter took the time to make it a 4-part rubric and to put descriptors in there so it would be less subjective in doing the evaluation. And so those pieces are there for you to take a look at. Also included here in this package is the coach evaluation. We have not been extremely consistent with evaluating coaches at the junior high level, and we are going to change that. We're going to make sure that the same instrument is being used at junior high and high school, and the goal is to have all those evaluations done within 3 weeks after the end of the season. So that's there for your approval.
Any questions or comments? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve the revised athletic director job description, the AD evaluation instrument and accompanying rubric, and the coach evaluation instrument for Blue Ridge CUSD number 18 to be implemented beginning the 2025-2026 school year as presented. Jason and Derek. Yes. Up next, consideration of mower purchase.
So we did have a little communication through email. I just gave you information that way. We didn't have any meeting over email, but I gave you some information after our mower developed a crack in its frame. We did have that repaired, but the mower is not in great shape. And so Rusty started to look at Central Illinois Ag. They gave some great prices for both a 25 horsepower mower, a 37 horsepower mower. They were going to give us a good amount for trade-in. And just to make sure that we were doing our due diligence, you also have additional estimates for a 25 horsepower mower, both from Barnes, that's if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Awesome Machines. Central Illinois Ag by far is the better price, and they're giving us a very generous trade-in amount. So we would appreciate your approval tonight of Central Illinois Ag 25 horsepower mower with the trade-in of the current mower.
All right. Any questions? If not, I need a motion and a second to approve the purchase of a 25 horsepower mower with trade-in of current machine from Central Illinois Ag for Blue Ridge CUSD number 18 as presented. Jonathan and Sig. Up next, consideration of Blue Ridge Intermediate Junior High boiler replacement.
So our last month's board meeting, we had a terrible storm, if you remember that. And so buildings were being checked very early the next morning. We discovered that we had a problem with one of the two boilers at the intermediate junior high school. Nothing to do with the storm, it just happened to be kind of a freak thing that happened on the same night. There was water, obviously, causing a big problem over there, but it was also soaking the electronics of that boiler. And so United Mechanical came out right away to assess the situation. There were some, I would say, some of the lines that were in there were not of great quality. Ryan Bohawk, who's done a lot of work for us, did make a suggestion that we could try to repair the malfunctioning unit. He thought it might be a better idea to replace either one or both units. Both of those units were installed at the same time, so they're of the same age and of the same quality. And so the choices, again, were to repair the malfunctioning unit, replace one, or replace both. We save a little bit of money when you replace both at the same time because the equipment that they need to bring in to do that would be there one time instead of two separate times. And again, we had communicated a little bit through email, got individual responses back from you, and I believe that most of you would agree with Rusty's recommendation of replacing both units at this time with United Mechanical.
Any questions?
Forgot to ask this one to Rusty, but how old are the existing boilers that are in there? What year were those put in?
Yeah, that would have been when the building was constructed,
2014.
13, 14, somewhere in there, yeah.
Jeez.
They are not the super duper quality that the high school boilers are. They were, at one time they were called more of like a throwaway boiler type. Just the quality is
Not there.
not there.
And the Weil McLean's that they're 399s that they're putting in, those are we going to be on a regular maintenance plan with those too?
That's what Rusty would like to propose. It's probably going to be at next month's board meeting. We'd like to have a preventative service maintenance plan approved. That's the wise thing for us to do going forward.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to approve the replacement of two boilers at Blue Ridge Intermediate Junior High as presented. Derek? Jason? Yes. Okay. I need a motion and a second to move from open session to closed session for the purpose of appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, dismissal of specific employees of the district at 8:09. Derek and Sig. Yes.